Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Debbie. It's so good to see you.
Yes. Good to see you too, PK.
How you doing?
Good. Yeah. Life is good. Today is good.
Life is definitely really good for you. You've been very busy since you left SEU Carolina.
Yes, I have. It's crazy. It's been 2022 is when I graduated, so it's not that long, but yeah, lots have happened.
Listen, you've got married.
Yes.
You're in your career.
Yes.
Like you are living your best life. I love it.
Yeah, it's good.
All right, so we're going to talk about some of those things, but before we dive in, I just want to do an icebreaker.
Okay, perfect.
Simple icebreaker. All right, fun question. If your college years were a movie, what would the title of the movie be?
Okay. I would say the title would be The Pilot.
The Pilot?
The Pilot, because it was the first, it was my first time, obviously, my first year in college. I'm the first one in my family, so it's a lot of firsts on my end. But also, it was the first time the school was establishing its satellite campus, so it was new. It was the first for so many people. But yeah, I would say The Pilot. But it was so fun, chaotic, adventurous, everything. But I would say new.
Yeah, it was new for everybody.
It was new for everybody.
I think we started in 2017, and then
wow.
you were like, I think right out the gate.
Yeah.
So would this premiere on Netflix or in theaters?
What do you think makes more money? I'm gonna go with AMC. Yeah.
AMC.
Theaters.
Awesome. What's the last movie you saw?
I saw the Marvel one, not Captain America.
Okay.
I don't know if it has like a special name, but it's the new guy.
I got you.
Yeah.
Where Hulk is red?
No, it's like the African American Captain America where he like takes over and it's like a Hispanic guy who's like his helper.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So it was good.
Awesome. Okay, so let's talk about your decision to attend SEU Carolina. So clearly there's so many different places where you can go to get a Christ-centered education, but yet in your journey you chose to come to SEU Carolina. So what first drew you to SEU Carolina?
So the cost was for sure the main selling point. Sorry about that. The cost was the main selling point for me. I was 18, 19 years old, had finished high school. I went to Los Angeles for a year to do a gap year. So I'm coming back and I know I kind of want to do ministry. Also want to get like a real education degree. And yeah, so it was kind of awesome because it's like, this is education, this is also ministry, and the price was perfect. So because of my status, if I went to a regular university here, I was going to have to pay out-of-state tuition.
Okay.
Whereas SEU is a private school, so I was just going to pay a flat rate. Everybody pays the same thing. And it was affordable because it wasn't in Florida, but it was here.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a big reason why.
So for our listeners who may not know, one of the unique things about what we do here at SEU Carolina is we make Christ-centered education affordable and accessible, and we offer our tuition at a discounted rate, more than 50% discounted than other institutions. So affordability definitely had a lot to do with you deciding to come to school here.
Yeah.
However, there was another thing. If I recall, we were at Panera.
Yes.
And you and I were having coffee, and I just got introduced to you and just found out that you wanted to come to school, and I just wanted to meet you and hear about your story and just kind of figure out what it is that God was calling you to do. And in that moment, I was able to learn more about you and your story, and essentially you had just got back from LA Dream Center.
Yeah.
Where you were on either a youth group mission trip or something, and just had an encounter with God. And tell me a little bit about that moment. Take me back there to Panera in that moment.
So I guess you have to come to the school to know like the whole piano story that you kind of share about the pastor here. But I had my moment, my under piano moment, where it was here. It was actually at church here at Multiply Youth Group, and they're doing a missions trip. And again, I can't leave the country, but this was in California. So again, it was awesome that I could attend to this. I went and I loved it. We went for a week, and they had a internship school program, like a discipleship program for 1 year, ministry school. And so I remember praying about it and feeling like, oh man, should I do this? Should I not do this? And I did it. It was awesome. God provided. My family supported me. And this was my gap year. And so when I'm over there, I'm doing outreach. I'm doing, inviting people to church, giving out hot dogs. I'm working with the Skid Row population, which is like the biggest population of homelessness in California. Okay. And I'm also in LA, so I'm broke, but it's like great. It's awesome. And I'm making a ton of friends, a lot of great friends that I'm still friends with today because of that experience there. But I remember working very closely with the outreach director. I respected him. I respected his leadership, his style, very humble guy, and a lot of impact. And I thought, okay, that's what I want to do. And so it was such a special moment for me because I feel like that was my moment of calling, purpose, where I'm like, all right, I want to help people. I want to get into nonprofit. I also still want to get an education. And so when I came back, LA really helped me shape and decide. And that's what made SEU just make so much sense because it aligned with what I was doing. The heart of it, the ministry aspect, but also, again, that education piece as well.
So clearly you have a God moment on the West Coast. And I feel what's so cool about this program, we were definitely launching it at the time when you were seeking it. Yeah. And which I think is really cool because I feel like God gave you a pathway and a doorway to continue your journey. Because you do nonprofit work now. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. But one of the hurdles I think that you had that not every student had is at the time you were a DACA student. Yeah. And so talk to me about that. Just being a DACA student at that time, making a decision to come to school. Yeah. So, man, being a DACA recipient is just a big part of my identity. So pretty much it's a work permit where you have to renew it every 2 years. It's like $500, $600. Make sure that you're doing good with the system, not doing anything crazy. Your background, passes, and you're in school, you're working, you're doing something productive for, the community. And so when I finished high school, I remember my parents wanted me to have an education, but they also knew how expensive it would be. And so when being a DACA recipient, you have to pay out-of-state tuition. So you really have to rely on scholarships. You really have to rely on working hard. So even when I came to school here, although it was a little bit more affordable, I still had a full-time job. My parents were putting in a lot of money. I mean, they sacrificed so much. And we were paying out of pocket. I mean, every month I was paying SEU. And so I actually feel like, side note, it was more special for me when I looked online and I saw zero debt on that moment than crossing when I walked to get my degree. Yeah. Because to me, it's like, I just paid this thing off. Like, this is done. Like, no more big payments. Anyways, I forgot what your question was. What was your question? DACA. So really what that means, I remember when I connected with PK, it was awesome. I remember telling him, and I'm like, hey, so I have DACA. This is kind of what it means. It just means I don't get financial, FAFSA. I have to pay out of state. How does it work with SEU? Like, would that be more expensive for me? Because I didn't know that, if you guys would charge me more or not because of my status. And you're like, okay, yeah, let me figure it out. Let me figure again, pilot. It was new for you. And so I remember thinking like, oh, all right, man, this white man does not know anything about my situation. Totally cool, not a bad thing, but I'm just gonna have to figure it out on my own, And it was so awesome because then I met with you again. That was at Panera. Then we met again, and you were like, all right, I got the information I need to know. I did my research. I did my homework. This is how we're gonna handle it. And so I didn't feel alone in that situation because my parents, they could help me financially, but they couldn't help me with the mental load of like, this is what you need to do. This is where you're going to have to pay. They were just like, figure it out. And so I thought I would have to do that alone, but it was very cool that with SEU Carolina, I didn't have to do that alone. Yeah, you're my person there. You're like, all right, this is how we're going to do it. This is the payments. And, but yeah, that's kind of what that means for DACA. It's just expensive. It's just really expensive. One of the reasons I asked that, I feel like it's such a unique part of your story. Yeah. In that because you were a DACA student, you were not eligible for all the other financial aid that every other student had access to. Yeah. And you had multiple jobs that you were working, you were paying for it out of pocket. Yeah. And you just tackled college with such a working spirit that it just blew me away. Yeah. I was enamored by it. And I think that's why you were able to graduate debt-free. Yeah. not so much because we were affordable, but because you worked hard and you put in the time. And to graduate debt free, I mean, it's a tremendous blessing.
A blessing.
To be a first generation college student in your family.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a huge blessing.
That's a huge blessing. Yeah.
Now one of the I'm curious to know. Mm-hmm. At one time, I believe you had 3 jobs.
Yeah.
What does one do with 3 jobs? Where does one work? What were these 3 jobs? Tell me a little bit about that.
Granted, I would say I have a pretty strong work ethic. Like I did the best that I could in school, and I think I did overall great. But like I like to work. I like working. So, but I worked about 35 to 37 hours at Hibbett Sports. So I was right under that 40-hour mark as an assistant manager. So I was there most of the time. I remember
assistant manager.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I would leave here. And I would have to go in at 4 p.m. I'd leave here at 3:30, drive, and I'd just change into my uniform over there in the bathroom, and I'd get like Chick-fil-A or just something and eat really quick. Like, it's crazy. And I think back, and I'm like, that's how I lived for 2-3 years, But I worked at Hibbett Sports. I also worked at American Eagle. I did like their overnight shift, which was like once or twice a month, where we would change like, the posters and the, signage and all that. But mostly because of their discount. They have a pretty good discount. Whenever Zara opens, I'll probably be there working as well. But yeah, and then I also did a practicum here too. So I would work 15 hours with the outreach department under Pastor Gwen. So I was just, Now,
where were you getting the shoes from? There's a place you were selling shoes.
That's Hibbett Sports. That's Hibbett Sports. Yeah. So I was.
You were in the know.
I was a shoe girl.
Dropped.
It's crazy. I mean, it's like a lot of Jordans. So a lot of people who are like, fanatics of shoes. I don't even care for them, but these are like $200 shoes, and people just knew me because I was there all the time. That I'd be at a Quick Trip, and they'd be like, "Yo, when those 3s dropping?" And I'm like, "Saturday, 9 a.m. Be there." But yeah, that was a great season.
So let's talk for a moment about some memorable college moments.
Okay.
So if you had to pick one defining moment from your college years,
a good like fun moment, I'd say would be study hall. We had I know like study hall fun moment. I'd say would be study hall.
Y'all drove me crazy.
We hated it too, but I know
it was crazy because they would lock us in, guys. I'm kidding. They wouldn't lock us in, but we
hated it too. But it was
one of the rooms.
It was crazy because they would lock us in, guys. I'm kidding. They wouldn't lock us in, but we were stationed at this one of the rooms. But that was like, all right, from this 11 other time to this time, you're gonna do your homework. You're gonna study.
I mean, I got to like be a part of something.
But that was the time that me and 11 other people,
my class, this was my group. So it was honestly
I got to like be a part of something. I felt like this was my class, this was my group, so it was honestly some of the funniest,
for me,
most chaotic,
study hall was
times,
so
but it was awesome.
Because you obviously have people like you that would like do your work and took study hall was always so rowdy. Because you obviously have people like you that would like do your work. I was trying to sneak off, took advantage of the opportunity to go get breakfast or whatever. But then you had others that were, and they always thought they were so clever.
Yeah,
and to go get breakfast or whatever.
It was intense.
And they always thought they were so clever.
That definitely defines probably
you'd have somebody playing cards.
Experience, for sure.
Yeah,
there's some people that are there.
But I think that definitely defines probably the college experience.
They're not so
for
sure.
sure.
They're just
Because there's some people that are there to get an education.
So
and then
professor, mentor, or
they're not
friend
so
that
sure,
had a
and they're
big
just living it up
impact
as they pass college.
So
Professor, mentor, or friend that had a big impact on you in your college years.
Question.
Who had a big impact on you?
I have 3 answers. Okay. I'd say for sure Pastor Gwen was a big person. I'd say she was a professor, but I worked under her. So Pastor Gwen, actually how I got my job, it's very cool. She's on the board of CCM, and I work for CCM.
Okay.
And so she was always so gracious, very generous of like, hey, you want to shake hands with that person. Because she always knew that I didn't want to be a pastor, but I did want to be a nonprofit. And I wanted to have a good job and, kind of grow in my career. And so she was always good, like, hey, that person works for the city. That person works for this. And, hey, that person has... I don't know, she would just say, this is who you want to talk to. And I always appreciated her exposure because she has she's very known in the community.
Yeah.
And I would go to board meetings with her and I would just shadow her. So I feel like she taught me a lot of how to carry yourself, how to introduce yourself. She was not shying away from introducing me to people, connecting me to where now I work. And she always kept it real with me too. So I always appreciate, like, even being a nonprofit, recognizing that, you know, what the pay is, what's going to be realistic, and then when are you getting taken advantage of, and how to advocate for yourself, but in a professional manner. And so again, those were all things that I always appreciated about her. And then I would say you for sure. I mean, it was very special for me. Like I said, the DACA situation, I know we kind of just talked about it quickly, but that was such a big part of my life because there was a lot going on in the world. There was a lot of unknown. Actually, I remember now, I'm starting to remember, there was talks that the program was going to end. And so I remember being scared of, like, man, I may not even be in this country in 4 years. Is it worth coming to school here? Is it worth paying, you know, $1,500 a month to SEU? Like, and my parents are also questioning that, but they're saying, all right, if that's what you want to do, then we'll support you. But it was a lot of weight to carry. And I felt like I could really lean on you. And it's crazy because it's not like you could really say, oh, I've been in your shoes. But I feel like you did your best to understand and meet me where I was at. And also just encourage me biblically, like saying, hey, like, God has a plan for you. God has a purpose for you. Nothing's going to go in vain. Like, this is where faith comes. And so I feel like you really held me accountable to recognizing that, yes, this is a part of my identity, but it's not my full identity. My full identity really is, you know, who I am, a child of Christ, and that he really is he's faithful, you know, and every day he is. So yeah, I would say you two were really big for me.
So I think you said three.
Oh yeah.
Three
Yeah.
people.
Thanks.
So is there a third person?
Yes. I would say my friend Emma was really, really special for me. I mean, she worked here, but I think we were friends before that. But her and I are similar in age. I think I was, regular college age, but I just connected well with her. And I made some other great friends, you know, Bianca, Devin, Eric, so many great people that today, if I see them, it's a great moment. Yeah. But yeah, I would say I made some really great friends here.
So talk to me about that community that you got to be part of.
Yeah.
What I would say, if I were to talk to alumni today and ask them, like, what's something that stands out to you that'll stay with you as far as your student experience? A lot of people mention community.
Yeah.
So you just mentioned a lot of names. Tell me about that community. What it meant to you to be part of a family, and what that was like for you.
It meant so much to me because we all had different backgrounds. Most of these students came from the youth group from this church, so I would see them from afar when I was 17, 16 years old coming into this community. And I'll be honest, I was thinking when I was 16, like, I'm way too cool for these kids. These are like some homeschooled weirdos kind of thing. And then they ended up becoming one of my closest friends in college, where we had so much in common, great humor. I mean, we were in ministry, setting up chairs, doing events left and right, because you have so much opportunity with here at Multiply. So we were busy, but it was awesome to be there with them at 6 a.m. prayer and study hall. Like, we were just, it was like we were together in so many pockets of, you know, Multiply world. So it's awesome. I mean, I keep in touch with them, and they're just awesome people.
One of the things I tell students often is that, you know, when you decide to go to college, it's not just about where you're going to go and what you're going to study, but really it's about who you're going to do life with.
Yeah.
And sometimes these are people that, you know, you build relationships with, and they'll be with you forever. Question. What was a funny or unexpected experience you had during college that you remember?
Ooh. A funny or unexpected experience in college.
If you can't think of one, I can think of one.
You can?
Yes, I can.
Okay, I'm curious to hear yours. I don't know.
Okay, so I had Easton on the show.
Okay.
And
I don't even know where this is going.
Because Easton was talking about just how you and him had bonded and built this friendship, and, you know, there was this community and camaraderie that was occurring, and y'all would always go and get breakfast.
Oh yeah.
And there was a point in time where I think you had decided, I'm just not going to do this anymore. You know, going to get breakfast every day. I don't really know the excuse or the reason, but you just told him, we're not going to do this anymore. And so you had, I think it was about timeliness, and you just wanted to be on time for class. And so anyway, Easton was telling me how after you broke that off, that breakfast moment, the next day, you showed up late for class.
With breakfast?
With Bojangles. And Easton was like,
That was heartbreak for him right there.
It was. He said to this day, every time I see Debbie, I can't help but think of that moment.
I was eating. I still remember that. That's hilarious. That was the thing. It was just like we were both, I think, chaplains, so we would have to be there at a certain time, and we'd just go get breakfast, come back.
Chaplains.
That's what it was. And I think maybe I was trying to eat better. I don't know. I said, "Hey, I'm not doing it anymore," and he was like, "Whoa, you didn't even tell me." Like, all right. Yeah. The next day, I show up with a biscuit. He looked at me. He's like, "Are you serious? Like, are you serious right now?" That is so funny. Gosh. Yeah.
So, lessons learned. How did your time at SEU Carolina shape who you are today?
Oh, that's a great question. It definitely made me the leader that I am today. I feel like I already had a pretty good like work ethic. I always took pride in that as a 19-year-old, but I wasn't a leader really. I wasn't, I matured here at SEU, but my time here really shaped me to be humble. I read a lot of leadership books as well. But to carry yourself with excellence, come on time, take notes when you're, meeting with somebody, all these things, all these principles that I picked up, but I feel like they were so valuable because it's what I'm sharing to my intern today, but yeah, I think it shaped me to be a humble leader, I would say. Yeah. To, never be the person who can't do what you're asking somebody to do. Nothing's beneath me. But also really influencing and creating impact. I had a lot of great leaders here. I will say I actually have been blessed with great leaders in my life. I mean, it's crazy. But we had Pastor Doug, who was very influential. He invited us over to his home. We did a book study. But to see him be a person who's on stage and, he has such a high influence, but he's a humble guy who's welcoming into your, to his house and serving you coffee, and again, very personable. I mean, I worked out with him and Zach Witt, that's actually,
oh my goodness.
I don't know if you remember that.
Sounds like a horrible idea.
It's crazy. So I would
say those guys go hard.
Actually, to answer your previous question about what's the most embarrassing thing,
okay.
Zach Witt taught us a class. I can't remember the name of the class.
I think it was personal stewardship.
Yes. And he was like, hey, I'm going to challenge you guys, whoever wants extra credit. And here, I always did anything extra credit. If you come to it was like an 8 a.m. Saturday class at some guy's house, Seth something.
Okay.
A whole bunch of men, Pastor Kevin. Like a whole bunch of men. Here I am, not in any way in good shape.
Okay.
And I'm like flipping tires, doing a Spartan. Yeah. And I'm like working out with Pastor Doug and Pastor Zach. And I'm like, man, I'm just here for the extra credit, but like, here I am sweating away. That was embarrassing. That was embarrassing. But yeah, it shaped me to be a humble leader. To answer your previous
humility.
Yeah.
It's a good lesson in humility.
Yeah.
All right, if you could go back in time and give your freshman self some advice, maybe a word of encouragement.
Yeah.
What would you tell yourself?
So looking back at my freshman year, and even really until maybe I was a senior, I did everything with excellence to the best that I could. I mean, I was kind of rigid. I took it so serious. But again, there's that element of me paying out of pocket. So I knew the gravity of my education and taking it serious. But I was also 19, and so I felt like I was operating like a 27-year-old, a 25-year-old, where I was taking it serious because I could see it in front of me. When you're 19 and you get FAFSA maybe, and I'm just using this as a comparison, that you're going to have to pay the loans, but it's not in front of you. Right now, you just got a big check. So right now you're like, I'm rich. For me, I was the reverse. I was seeing I was already in the future paying that off. Yeah. So I had to take it serious. But I also wish I would have been a 19-year-old. I wish I could have been a little bit less rigid. And I think I would tell myself that. Yeah. Granted, I think it shaped me to where I'm at now. Which I appreciate. But yeah, I would just say, you're 19, be 19.
Yeah, that's good advice. Yeah. So let's talk a bit about where you are now.
Okay, awesome.
So you had mentioned that during your time in our program here, in your practicum, for our listeners who may not know, practicum is a program that we have here where students can get credit hours and Southeastern scholarships for those credit hours. And and it's essentially an opportunity to where you don't have to wait till you graduate to do the things that you're passionate about that you want to do in your career. You can get a practical hands-on learning experience in that now. So for you, obviously, it was in the nonprofit sector, and Pastor Gwen gave you a lot of exposure and got you introduced to Christian Cooperative Ministries. You had done some practicum time with that department. They end up hiring you full time. So tell us what you do for Christian Cooperative Ministries and what you're up to today.
So at CCM, how I got connected, because I think this is such a cool story, and good insight for anybody who's, just in their early career, I guess, stage. But Pastor Gwen said, hey, I have extra credit. Come to this fundraising dinner and, just help out wherever CCM is needed, So I go, and I'm sitting now next to the guy who's my boss now. His name is Amaha. He's Ethiopian, so he has a very unique name. And so when he introduced himself, he's like, hey, my name is Amaha. It's like Yamaha without the Y. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm sitting next to him. We're like checking people in. I know nothing about this organization. And I'm just, being charismatic, talking to him, getting to know him and the person next to me. I'm doing my job with excellence of like, hey, what's your name? Welcome, have fun at the event. Again, I know nothing about this event, but I'm just selling it. I'm selling it great, working great, I guess you could say. I see him at another event 6 months later. And I look at him like, hey, Amaha, right? Without the Y. And like, I made the joke and I remembered. It was, remember people's names, guys. Remember their names. And he said, yes. He's like, I've been thinking about you. Let's connect. Let's meet. And boom, I have a job interview and I start working part-time with him. Still in school, still doing everything that I'm doing, but I start working with him. But it was because of Pastor Gwen's, introduction, which was very, very neat. So what I do there now, is that what you asked me? Okay. We have a housing program for single moms. And so it's very neat because it's kind of like a 3-level continuum. The first level is really like a shelter, 4-bedroom, very uncomfortable, free, and you receive case management. So within 30 days, we want you to start working full time, open a savings account, and start holding you accountable. And so if you're doing well, you're progressing, then you go to level 2. At level 2, the space is more comfortable, bigger. You have more autonomy, more privacy, more independence. And then that's for a year. And now we start charging you for the services that, you receive from us. Lastly, the 3rd level is we have 23 different houses spread around Cabarrus County. Now we rent you a house. So it's very cool because for about 3.5 years, we're working with this mom, with her kids. We know how her kids are doing in math. We know how mom is doing. We're trying to get mom to get a better paying job, to get any certification she can, holding her accountable. And it's very intimate. I mean, sitting with somebody, looking at your bank statements is not easy whatsoever. So we have to do it with a lot of grace, serve them with dignity, a lot of love, but also hold them accountable to the structure so that they can succeed. So yeah, I'm a part of that whole thing.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's pretty awesome. I can't take credit. It's a team effort. I mean, I oversee the people who are in the front lines who are kind of doing that, but I started off doing that work as a program assistant.
So since even getting hired, you've experienced a promotion.
Yes. So I started as an assistant, like a housing assistant. 20 hours, and then I became a regular housing coordinator and then a manager, and now I'm the housing director.
That's crazy.
So it's very neat because, you tend to miss being in the front lines, talking to people and kind of having that heart-to-heart moment. But it's very cool to, whatever I've learned, share that with my team and, hope to see what their potential and their giftings look like too.
That's incredible. It's incredible to hear the work that you're doing.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
And helping people get on their feet and break the cycle of poverty.
And it's ministry too because it's a Christian facility. So what's awesome is that at every time we can pray, at every time we can encourage, at every time we don't have to shy away from the gospel. So it's very awesome that I'm doing something practical, but also sharing the gospel.
So let's talk about what it's like being married. So since leaving the university, it's your alumni story.
It's crazy.
So you're married now.
I got married. I got married in the fall in the mountains. I know that Sarah got married too, right? So it's very beautiful scenery. So married life has been really awesome. It's been really great. It's different. I mean, it's something new. It's something different. It's really great. I have a really good husband. Fun story.
Okay.
Connecting to Carolina, SEU Carolina. So he and I met on Hinge, and it works, guys. Don't judge it. It works. I have a friend. I have a friend, a whole other story. I have a friend who was like, can you believe this girl got on a dating app? And this is 2 weeks after my wedding. And she was like my maid of honor.
Okay.
And I look at her, I'm like, girl, I met my husband on a dating app. You're telling the wrong person this story. Anyways, it was a funny moment. But yeah, we met on Hinge. And the day I'm in Florida walking on stage, I'm graduating, we start messaging that night. So it was so crazy. And that was like, after that night, we were messaging nonstop. As soon as I got back, we went on our first date, and then we literally went on a date the next day. Like, we didn't even try to play it cool. We were like, we're into each other. It's definitely one of those, like, when you know, you know. Yeah. So awesome.
I'm glad you brought up graduating. What was that moment like for you, putting on your cap and gown, walking the stage, getting your diploma?
Yeah.
You know, it's the completion of a journey that was so hard earned.
Yeah.
What was that moment like for you?
Man, it was special. It was, I tend to process things like, you know, afterwards. So I remember we had an Airbnb in like Tampa area, wherever, I can't remember what. We were at an Airbnb. I had just finished walking on stage. My family had congratulated me, you know, hugged me and gave me a word of encouragement. They're all in bed. And this is actually around the time I'm about to start texting, like, you know, my future husband. Okay. But I remember sitting on the couch and just like really processing, like, wow, I'm done. Like, this is finished. And it felt impossible. It felt like a miracle. I mean, I was in school for 5 years because of the pay and working full time. And again, 3 jobs and hustling. And I didn't date. I remember telling my husband, like, oh yeah, I didn't date for 5 years. And he was like, that's kind of weird. You're like 24. And I'm like, well, I was in school and I was paying out of pocket, so I couldn't.
Priorities, bro.
Priorities. But yeah, I took it. It was just like, wow, like I did this, I did it well, and it's done. And again, seeing the debt 000, it felt amazing. It was awesome. The guy who runs the school, I don't know his name.
President Kent Engel?
Him. Sorry, guys.
Okay.
I remember he gave me like a shout out, like, and it was so cool because my family went to the graduation, but I had so many friends, so much of my community that was watching it online. Okay. And they're texting me. They're like, dude, your name just got mentioned. Like, this is a big deal. And so it was incredible. I feel like I couldn't take credit. I even did like a whole party where I just thanked everybody in my community because I know that it was, you know, my boss at Hibbett Sports being flexible, the scholarships I got at SEU, the favor with Pastor Doug, you know, the favor with you, with Pastor Gwen. Like, I knew it took a village for me to graduate. Yeah. And so, I don't know, I could get emotional really thinking about it because I feel like I see who God is through my experience because I had to put in the work, but I also didn't do it alone. And I couldn't have done it alone. Even if I worked hard, I wouldn't have graduated. It was because people got involved and I saw God's love and his goodness through so many people. So it was special. To this day, it's probably one of my biggest accomplishments for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you have a lot to be proud of.
Yeah, yeah.
So looking back, what's something about SEU Carolina that still sticks with you today?
That's a good question. I think something that still sticks today is, I know this is going to sound funny, but being on time. Culturally, time is not a thing for us. Okay. I mean, we show up late to things. You're supposed to show up late. You're not supposed to show up on time to a party. But I think coming into this culture, I'm like, all right, time is respect. Time, it means excellence. Time means that, you know, you're punctual. It means that you're responsible. It means you're reliable. It was a whole new definition for me. Because if I'm having a good old time here, I'm just going to stay here until I'm not having a good time, and then I go do the next thing. Yeah. I'm not worried about what time the next thing started. So I know that sounds silly, but it really helped me, even with like due dates and projects and homework assignments and all of that. Like, time, just being on time, turning things on time was big.
Developing those disciplines and habits.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely a big part of the college experience.
Yeah.
If an incoming student asked you why they should come to SU Carolina, what would you tell them?
Yeah, that's a great question. Because you will matter. I think that's my answer. You won't be a number. You won't be a statistic. I really believe that you would be cared for, and it'll be very person-centered. which means that whatever your needs are, whatever your challenges are, whatever your giftings are, SEU will really see that, recognize that, and want to mold you, hold you accountable to do better, and also expose you for you to grow in your giftings. I really, really believe that you won't be a number. I mean, I remember struggling in, I think, like a math class, and the professor would stay late with me and talk to me. And again, students would help you. So I just feel like because it's a smaller school, it's more intimate, but it's beautiful. I mean, it's just like you're more of a family, and I think you're more cared for because, again, you're not a number. You're really a person, and you're cared for. So, yeah.
All right. Are you ready to do something fun?
Yes.
Okay. So
Okay.
we're doing a challenge for the alumni, and it's
Okay.
60 questions in 60 seconds. Okay?
Okay. What's the most somebody has gotten to their questions?
So I think it was Marquis. Actually, no, Lindsay got to 34.
34?
Which I feel is, that was, now, mind you, that was her second try. First time she got 29, second time she got 34.
Holy cow.
Now, Marquis had to play it twice as well, because he was able to get to 30, but only on second try. All right? So, here's the question. How far can you go on your first try? That's the big question.
Okay.
All right? Are you ready?
Don't ask me no songs questions, though. That's what's going to throw me off.
No song questions?
Put those at the end.
Listen, you know they're going to be in there in some way, shape, or form. All right, let me pull up the countdown timer.
Okay. I'm so excited. Watch me get to like 18.
All right, so I've got the countdown timer,
All right.
and we're going to put this thing on 1 minute.
Okay.
All right? And we are going to see
It's a team effort, PK,
how
so
you
I need you to be excellent too.
do.
All right.
Okay?
All right.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, so let me get ready to start this timer. I actually didn't even have a timer pulled up, so I'm so thankful for the internet. All right, here we go. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Favorite color?
Brown.
Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Early bird or night owl?
Night owl.
Beach or mountains?
Mountains.
Favorite holiday?
Christmas.
Introvert or extrovert?
Extrovert.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Karaoke song?
Destiny's Child. Destiny's Child. Yeah.
Okay. Your life song?
Living on a Prayer.
Biggest pet peeve?
Not taking accountability.
Famous person for dinner?
Kanye West.
Last thing you Googled?
Something in ChatGPT.
What makes your day better?
My friend Bianca.
Texting or talking?
Texting.
Best day of the week?
Saturday.
One thing you can't live without?
My husband.
Nickname?
Deb.
Favorite book of the Bible?
Acts.
Favorite Bible character?
Stephen.
Favorite verse of the Bible?
Acts 7.
Favorite pizza topping?
Pineapple.
Sweet or salty?
Salty.
Favorite ice cream flavor?
Chocolate.
Pineapples on pizza?
Yes.
Breakfast or dinner?
Dinner.
Favorite fast food?
Chick-fil-A.
Spicy or mild?
Spicy.
Favorite meal?
Thai.
Worst food?
Chinese.
Favorite snack?
Popcorn.
Last show you binged?
Breaking Bad.
Favorite movie of all time?
Marvel. Something Marvel.
Oh, okay. All right, favorite movie of all time. You got 32. 32 on your first try.
Gosh.
Let's go.
I don't keep track of like music or movies, so I don't retain any of that. So I'm like actually thinking hard when I have to think about a movie.
Look, I'm the same way. I could, I could sing most songs, but I couldn't tell you who sings them. I couldn't tell you the name of it.
Yeah.
I'm the biggest Lumineers fan in
Really?
the world. All right.
Yeah.
I'll never forget the time they were walking around doing some questionnaire thing, something for social media, and they were like, it was some kind of Mike Mondays or something like that.
Okay.
And they came around and they asked me, and they were like,
the actual singers asked you, where are you at?
no. Here on campus. And they were doing like Mike Mondays.
I see,
Students are always doing these shenanigans.
Yeah.
So they were like, what's all the Lumineer songs you can name? And I was like, and Nick Pena was in the background. He's like, fake fan. He's just taunting me.
But
in
you
the
can sing
background.
it.
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
can sing them.
Okay, all right. Closing question. All right.
Awesome.
What's one piece of advice? What's one piece of wisdom you would give to future students?
Yeah. I would say, and I'm sure you get this advice all the time, but I mean, I think it carries weight once you can look back. If your one job is to be a student for 4 years, for a season, be a student, I think sometimes we want to rush to the next season, especially when you're, most people I think here are wanting to do ministry. So like, yes, I have homework, but I really want to preach, and I really want to lead worship, and I really want to, and they focus on being there. that they don't get to be a student with excellence. And so they're turning it in late and they're kind of taking it as a joke, but they're taking their career aspect seriously. So it's like your heart is in a good place, but your priorities are not, because you're not there yet. The Lord will put you when you need to be there, but right now you're a student. So prioritize that. But yeah, just carry yourself with excellence, take yourself seriously, be confident, and people will take you serious. I will, when I look back, I really do believe people took me serious, even though I was 19. And I mean, I didn't know anything about life, but I feel like I was confident, I was mature, I knew when to speak, when not to speak, and I knew how to carry myself well. And, I feel like I was very respected, and not even within SEU, but, just within the community. And I'm proud of that. I'm proud to look back and say, that's a good thing. Like, I hope my daughter can do that too,
Yeah.
But yeah, be confident, ask questions, learn, but
I'm sorry, you said your daughter is this?
Oh, no. If I have a daughter,
okay.
If I have a daughter, oh my gosh.
Hypothetical.
PK, if I was pregnant, this would not be the platform that I would share first. I love y'all, but you're crazy. But yeah, so I would just say carry yourself with respect and carry yourself well, but also be a student and do that well,
Yeah.
And don't rush to the next thing. Trust me, you have your whole life to be the youth pastor, the main pastor, the worship leader, the nonprofit director, etc. Like a teacher. You're gonna do that, but just do this well.
So good. So what would you, as a woman in ministry, what would you tell little girls that are dreaming and aspiring, to go into the world and do great things? What would you tell these people?
I would tell women that the Lord made us emotional, and we need to know when to lean on our emotions and when not to. I guess the Bible talks about that too, but I would say that that's probably the biggest thing I would share. And I used to be judgy, be like, oh, I'm not crazy. But now that I'm in a relationship, I'm like, oh, okay. I see you, Debbie. You do get emotional. I just needed a boyfriend. But yeah, I think sometimes we can get emotional and we can, kind of word vomit, overshare. And we're young. Again, that's part of you kind of grow into that. You figure out, all right, this is when I shouldn't say this. But as a young woman, I think men tend to compartmentalize better. So sometimes it's not that they're not emotional, but they're just, they function differently. Mm-hmm. So they process differently, they process things out loud differently, whereas women, we tend to just overshare. So I would say for young women in ministry, carry yourself well, but, don't lean on your emotions too much. Really take things to the Lord, pray about things and do things with excellence and, be humble and all that. But, try to be wise, I guess, in that area.
So good. Such good words of wisdom.
Yeah, does that make sense?
It does.
Okay.
It does.
Okay.
Debbie, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
I'm proud at what you've accomplished, but I'm also proud at the woman that you become and the work that you're doing for the Lord and the work of ministry. And so proud of you. So congratulations.
Thank you.
And it's been great to have you on the show today.